Hey, what's going on, everybody? The 12th ranked Miami Hurricanes win 91-83 over Kansas State in the Bahamar Hoops Bahamas Championship. Nigel Pack gets tournament MVP as he scored 28 points in this game, 7 3-pointers. The 28 points is the most he has scored in a Hurricanes uniform. It was great to see him connect from deep. 6 3-pointers in the first half, 5 of them coming within about a 5-minute span. And that 7th and final one that he hit was really impressive. The step over to the 3, it was deep, knocked it down. Just a really impressive night for Nigel in this game. You know, Nigel came into this tournament, into this game, the final game here, 4 of 16 from 3. And certainly he's been a high level, one of the best 3-point shooters in the country, but a bit of a slow start for him. So I asked him after the game when he spoke to reporters about if there was anything different he did to maybe improve his 3-point shooting, maybe to get to this point or anything like that. But here's what Nigel had to say.
Yeah, just shooting the ball with confidence. That's what it all comes down to. I've, worked out with great shooters throughout the history, and there's nothing, physically that you can do. It's more of, mentally, mentally seeing the ball go through, mentally shooting the ball with confidence, and, working out with Jack McClinton, who's the all-time leading 3-point shooter in Miami history. He gave me some pointers like that, just getting up shots and, seeing it go to the net, and, getting that rhythm early. And once I got the rhythm, I just felt like everything was going in after that.
So certainly a great performance from Nigel in a game that I know that he really wanted to get. And he didn't have any former teammates or even coaches on the other side at K-State, but certainly a lot of fans there. The Kansas State fans really showed up in the Bahamas. Jerome Tang, the head coach, talked a lot about that and was really happy to see so many fans from his side there. And everyone knows it's a national story with, Nigel Pack coming over to Miami and the NIL stuff that came out. And I know Nigel wanted to have a good performance against K-State. So a great performance by him, and overall a really good performance by the entire team. 5-0 start. It's the first 5-0 start since 2018-19 season. So that's great to see. It's also a really good point in the season. They're going to go on a 9-day break, essentially 8 days off in between games before they face Kentucky there on November 28th, another top 25 team. And that's going to be certainly exciting. There's going to be plenty of content on the channel, on the website leading up to the game. So definitely stay tuned with that, and definitely going to break it down and talk about this 5-0 start. And if you have questions or comments that you would like to see discussed in a future basketball show to discuss the team with where it's at and where it's going, definitely drop in the comments below. Also, you can post it on the InsideTheU.com message boards as I pose that question to people out there as well. Norchad Omier added 23 points, a big game from him, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, really attacked, particularly down the stretch. K-State cut it to 9 points with 2:48 left. A lot of momentum on their side after trailing by double digits, as many as 24 points there in the second half, as Miami built a huge lead with what happened in that first half. Miami just really got off to a great start. And Jerome Tang, again, the head coach at K-State, said after the game he felt like it was his fault with that first half game plan. And he's saying that in the sense that he really feels like they should have denied Nigel Pack the ball, not let him to get into these shooting spots, let him get into a role. And he wishes he would have had that back and made the adjustments at halftime. Nigel only had the 1 3-pointer after the break. So he just felt like he should have done that earlier. And that's the thing about Miami. They've got so many guys that can score the ball. We're seeing that. That's my kind of overall takeaway. It was my expectation coming into the season that it was going to be like that you were going to have 5 really good scores each and every game. And that's what we're seeing. And that's what makes it difficult for Miami to go up against, because they've got different guys that can score in different ways. And it's hard for you to just, zero in on a guy and that really shuts them down. That's just not how this Miami team goes. You've got to have a lot of things going for yourself. I thought coming into the game, K-State certainly had a chance to knock off Miami based on the things that I had seen K-State do well leading up to the game. But you've got to really play a complete game to knock off the Hurricanes. And that's not what we saw today. K-State gets behind it. They had the big lead, Miami did. And their best player at this point in the season with Tyler Perry just got off to a slow start. Bensley Joseph playing great defense on him. And Miami's offensive guys on offense really got it going. They got their shots going in different ways. It kind of just doesn't matter if they're dealing with some foul trouble, anything like that. If they miss a few shots, they got other guys that can do it. And that's kind of what stands out to me about today, but also the 5 games into the season also. So Pack was named tournament MVP. Wooga Poplar makes the all-tournament team, and his boost early on as Miami got off to a great start, 15-4 out of the gate. Poplar with 2 threes and a jumper. So that was certainly great to see. He has 15 points in this game. Another just a good performance by him. I'm talking so much about the offensive efficiency of this team, and I think it's going to continue once again with these 5 guys with the skill sets that they have and have shown throughout their careers. And just a reminder, Wooga leads this team in scoring. That's what I expected to happen this year. And that's with 3 other guys on this team that have led their teams in scoring at some point in their careers. And I think that just shows you what kind of firepower this team really has, that you've got those 3 guys. Now you've got Wooga taking a jump. And it looks like it could be a 4th guy if Wooga does go on and continue to lead this team in scoring. That's really impressive. Bensley Joseph has really come on as a double-digit scorer so far this portion of the season. But there's something that I want to point out as well. With the offensive efficiency numbers, they're shooting the ball well. I think the 3 guys, those 3 perimeter players with Wooga, Nigel, and Bensley, those guys are going to shoot high percentages from 3 in particular. But it's not just what they do with shooting the ball and their offensive efficiency numbers. All 5 of their guys in the starting lineup do other things really well. And I think that's the thing when you talk about impact winning on a basketball court. You can't just shoot threes or make free throws or some shots or even just be a scorer. You've got to do other things to impact the game. And that is exactly what I see with this team, with these guys. You've got Nigel that can dish the ball as well. He can do certain things, ball handling, kind of draw opponents. He's a good passer. He makes the right decisions. Bensley with his defenses, he's getting steals. Norchad Omier is one of the premier rebounders in the country. Matthew Cleveland, also a good rebounder, and he can play some good defensive things as well based on his skill set, his athleticism. And then Wooga, Wooga's a guy that's rebounding well for the guard position, also can get some steals in there as well. So it's not just how well they're shooting the ball. They're on the other court or other ways offensively. They're doing a good job. What makes them a good team because of those things, those winning plays that basketball coaches talk about so much. And that's the thing that makes Miami a really difficult team to beat, in addition to their efficiency numbers. And of course, all attention on this team is going to be on their starting 5. Their bench guys, their 4 bench guys that play, have interesting roles. And most of them, as we're seeing right now, are coming into games, filling some spots if there's some foul trouble or whatever that might be, just to give guys a rest. And I do think that will continue. I think the 5 guys are going to play heavy minutes as the starters. And then the bench guys, it just kind of depends. Maybe some matchup things. If a team is big, maybe Miami can go big with Nwako and Casey there, as we saw today. Or, maybe on the perimeter, with a Christian Watson, and also as well as Keyshawn George, who, it was nice to see him have some really positive moments, knocking down a 3. The dunk was nice. Also a big rebound. He plays 14 minutes. They were a -10 when he was on the floor. That's not good. But overall, I thought he still made an impact on the game. And I think it's just good that he had these positive moments for him to really build on, because how I feel about him and what I think he can bring to the team this season. Something to keep in mind with the reserves, and it's not like the NBA where you've got a second unit where it's kind of a 4 or 5 on, all of the reserves on the floor while the starters sit. I don't think that's what's going to happen with this team. I think those guys on the bench are going to be playing with other starters. Maybe it's just 1 reserve and 4 starters. Maybe there's 3 starters on the court and 2 reserves. But either way, I think the thing is, when these reserves come in off the bench, they've got to find certain things that they can do to really help the team, whether it's a loose ball on defense or a rebound, those kind of things, or a putback on offense. It's not something where you're going to see plays drawn up for these guys, or they're just automatically going to get some shot opportunities. So I think that's one of the things to look for, that I think the quality of play with the guys off the bench will be important, the small things, as opposed to just the pure production, the pure stats in terms of points and rebounds, because I don't think they're going to be on the floor altogether, a lot of them at once. I don't see that happening with this team in moments where they're playing big games. Certainly when the games get out of hand or against lesser opponents, maybe you'll see that. You'll see all 4 of those guys on the court at the same time. With what we've seen so far, I just don't think you're going to see that very often, which means I don't think you can really just judge the bench just purely on their individual statistics. Like I said, the main ones with scoring and rebounding, the way that maybe you typically could with the bench and evaluating a bench. All in all, a great day for Miami. Once again, I thought K-State could have pulled off the upset if Miami was not on top of its game. But like I said, a team that is going to play against Miami to knock them off, they're going to have to play really well offensively to keep up. And what we've seen so far, Miami's just been able to score on these teams. And, I like hearing what the other coaches have to say. If you follow the channel, I try to include the press conferences of the opposing coach on top of the post-game pressers with Coach Larrañaga and the players. And I did that again today. And also I asked a question to Coach Tang about Miami, essentially what makes Miami difficult to guard, and this is what he had to say about that.
They put 5 guys out there that can dribble, pass, shoot, and shoot it really well. And so you have to guard all 5 guys. And they're a veteran team, so they understand their role. And, and they're very unselfish. Like they're a really good passing team. And especially on the catch, they catch and they make the next play very, very quickly, and the ball travels faster in the air than it does on dribbles. And our goal was to pause them and to make them have to be dribblers, and we weren't able to do that in the first half. And so they're I mean, that veteran group, they know what they're doing. They don't get rattled. There's a reason why. I mean, they were down I think 13 to Texas in the NCAA tournament last year, and just stayed together. And when you have that championship pedigree, getting to the Final Four and stuff, it just carries over. You've been in those moments before, and so just a really good team.
And just wrapping this up, I want to make mention of what Miami's schedule looks like moving forward. They're going to get to Miami on Sunday night, immediately after the game, just an hour flight. And then they're going to be off on Monday. They're going to practice Tuesday and Wednesday, off on Thanksgiving on Thursday. They'll be off on Friday as well. And Coach really mentioned that they're certainly going to be focused all on Kentucky now moving forward to get ready for the big game. But also it's important for his team to rest and recover. Not every team has played 5 games at this point in the season. And with all the heavy minutes that the starters get and are expected to get moving forward, he knows that it's important to give them some rest and let them recover, let their bodies heal if there's anything minor that they're dealing with, but just essentially get ready. So that'll be big, and that'll be how this thing works moving forward for this week. And then, like I said before, plenty of content will still be on the website. I've got some things in mind already that I want to do that I'll be posted on the site as well as the channel also. So like I said, drop in the comments below. Let me know if you have some mailbag questions, some questions and topics that you would like discussed, so I can do that for the next basketball show. And stay tuned. Thanks again for watching. I'm glad so many people are excited about this team. You should be excited. This is a good team. A lot of coaches are saying good things about them. That should give you more confidence that this team will have a good season. So a lot can happen, a lot of ups and downs with the season. That's what makes college basketball so fun. So far, so good for the Hurricanes. Thanks for watching, and take care.